In this realm, orcs hate one thing: cowardice. If they approach an area and are met with arms they can't defeat, they leave with respect. If they aren't, the horde proceeds with rage and normally kills most of the residents. Today, an orc gathers at the top of a hill, staring over a village preparing an evacuation. A strong general would perform an immediate evasion, but he wanted to mark the occasion. So the army was gathered, a group of 150 strong, not a large host, but for orcs it's enough. Next to him stands a shaman who carves a set of runes over his head, and he starts and begins a speech meant to rally his friends and give fears to his foe. The runes cause his voice to boom and be understood by everyone on the land. Ahead of us lies cowards. They do not approach us. They do not raise their weapons to fight. They exist to be scared and run off. I ask you, when was the last time we fled in fear instead of acting on our plans? They flee in a disgraceful way, in the most disgraceful way possible, without even starting a fight. And I almost feel pity for them. But do you know what I feel more than pity? Rage. Rage at the rejection of the ways of war. Rage at their refusal to defend their own kin. Rage at the amount of land they have refused to protect. We will charge and slaughter them down to the last man. One will be spared so that he may provide a message to the next group. So maybe someday, instead of running, they will fight back. And we will bathe in the blood of true combat. His words came to pass. They spared only one in the hopes of eventually having a real battle. This was, of course, the last survivor, a man who used a spear in narrow passages to keep the horde off him and fight his foes one at a time until he outlived everyone else. It said he killed 12, but more accurate reports suggest 8. He went to the next town and informed them of the coming horde. Whispers and fear filled the markets and alleys. But he began spreading word, looking for men to join him so that they might prepare to fight back the horde. The people were hesitant, some already began preparing to flee, but a few men were found, then a few more. Eventually the town gathered a force of an entire 50 men, less than a third of those who are capable of fighting, but they were all willing. They all understood the suffering an orcish group could cause and said to themselves, if I can do one good thing, the removal of an orc would do more than almost all of my other deeds. And they found comfort in this as they prepared for war. The host arrived as had been foretold. The orcish captain was preparing to give a speech as he did before, but then he saw that a human force had gathered. They all heard the shouts of the human leader rallying his people. Come out, you foes of man, we will fight you if we can. You will feel our pain yourselves today to see your allies fall away. For every man today is slain will not have died in vain. For every orc within the horde will feel a swift and deadly sword. So the orcs charged in ignorant glee, happy for their first true battle in some time. Then the first trap was triggered. It's around 80 orcs fell to the traps before a tactical retreat was in order. The forces of man routed them through the forest and killed the remaining group. Only 20 men were lost, and the world was relieved from a wicked foe. This one was a touch generic. I wanted to get something out for the weekend. You'll notice that I made the editing a tad easier by doing like 3 giant batches of text to image instead of making individual images for each section, which might have lowered the quality. I'm not certain. I'll have something more original coming Tuesday. Probably another headspace of, I'm thinking, Rogue.